G'day guys, do you like survival crafting games? Are you a Lord of the Rings nerd? Well, what if I told you there's a game coming out in 2023 that will fill the void of all of that you've been missing? Welcome to Return to Moria, a survival crafting game with a Lord of the Rings based on it that's going to fill your void until someone decides to make another Lord of the Rings series. So the Return to Moria is told through the dwarves' eyes, returning back to Moria at the start of the 4th Age. For those who aren't a Lord of the Rings nerd, the 4th Age begins at the end of the 3rd movie, where Aragorn's claimed king of Gondor, and there's peace in Middle-earth finally. The reason for the return back to Moria that Gimli has promised Aragorn that they will rebuild the gates of Minas Tirith with Mithril, which can only be found in Moria.
The wealth of Moria was not in gold or jewels, but Mithril.
So Gimli gets together with a group of dwarves to return back to Moria to mine the Mithril and claim back their homeland. During this, they find out that their adventure is a little more complicated than what they initially thought. But with the help of you can mine all the Mithril you want and claim back Moria to be part of the Dwarven Kingdom once again. The Return to Moria is a multiplayer-based game set in a procedurally generated world. This, with the theme of the Lord of the Rings on it, makes it a perfect game for anyone that's a Lord of the Rings nerd or likes something that's survival craft with a good storyline to it. Most of the information I'm going to provide in this video is going to be pulled from Matt's interview from the Nerd of the Rings with the dev team from the Return to Moria. If you feel like watching the whole video and them talking about the lore of Lord of the Rings and the dwarves, then please have a look in the description below and there will be a link to their video and you can have a look at that for yourself. But if you want the broken down version of it for just game mechanics and stuff like that, then feel free to stick around. There are some interesting game mechanics which I've seen in a couple of other games before, and one of them is the first one is going to be to do with light. So in the lore, it's told that the dwarves love to bring light to dark places, and the dev team has surely come through with this promise. In this, they're trying to bring back light within Moria, so you have to go around and discover different places and light up Moria to bring the light back into this beautiful world. Having different levels of light will attract different levels of attention, but also it can help with your sanity and keeping despair away. They mentioned in the Q&A a few times that the more light you have around you, the happier your dwarf is and the despair will go away. This will be an interesting meter that I wish to discover more, and it will drive more towards the lore of the dwarves having lots of great big fires and feasts and having friends to sing around and drink with. A mechanic that every other survival game is have food and water, which I'm going to be interesting to see what sort of food and water you're going to be able to pull from Moria, whether you're going to be eating bat or you're going to have lots of salted pork. Again, like every other survival game, there will be a lot of base building. Dwarves are renowned for their crafting abilities and the absolute picturesque places that we have seen with the dwarves before. I'm really looking forward to seeing what sort of theme you can bring and how you can make Moria return back to its former glory. They have also mentioned during the Q&A that there's going to be closed off areas to magic and malice, which will indicate that there's some of the higher level boss with magic that still dwells the deep dark depths of Moria. You won't have to fight hordes of orcs and trolls and goblins. Perhaps there's a Balrog left with some magical evil left in it, and we're going to look forward to discovering that when the game releases. The character customization will be in-depth with how you can build your dwarf to suit your desire. In the Q&A, they talk about how Gimli puts out a call out to all the dwarves across Middle-earth. Depending on what area you're from, you can change the beard, the colour of your beard, the different lengths of it, and if you want to be male or female, you can still have a beard. You can also change the accent. Something like this and these finer details really keep true to the lore of the Lord of the Rings, and we're looking forward to seeing how they implement this and see what sort of crazy characters everyone's going to come up with. Another interesting mechanic that they've got is sound. So if you're a single player running through the mines of Moria, then you'll make less sound and have less attention drawn towards you. But if you're in a big party of 6 or 8 and you make a lot of noise, then you'll attract more attention to fight more hordes. So this will be an interesting mechanic, so it will allow you to play as loudly or as quietly as you want, choose your own adventure from there, which will be really interesting to see. Crafting is a big thing for dwarves, and this will be a huge part of the game too. You'll need to upgrade your weapons and armor, build bases and gather resources to progress. They've also mentioned that you will have to light great big forges to create different materials and different armors and weapons, and in doing this you're going to attract more enemies to that area. It will really draw the player to progress with the game. You have to go into different areas and find different materials and then unlock different areas and restore them to the former glory to progress through the game, which is something really interesting and will actually force players to discover the whole area. If you can't tell, guys, we're really excited to play this game when it comes out next year, and we'll hope that everyone else that either likes a survival crafting game or is a Lord of the Rings fan who just wanted the next fix will actually come to this game and experience it and through the eyes of the dwarves, which is something that has never been done before and Tolkien never really wrote about. So they've been bringing in Tolkien experts so they can make sure that they get the right information and how it would be perceived by Tolkien and how to be presented to everyone in the world. The release of the game is somewhere in 2023, but it's not mentioned what part of the year yet. There is speculation that it will come to early to mid 2023, but nothing is set in stone yet. This won't be on Steam, but only on Epic Game Store, so make sure you get an account and get ready for it to come out. We're going to be covering everything Return to Moria within the channel here. We're going to be keeping a close eye on the Discord and also on any other Q&A that dev team does. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video to help you with your YouTube algorithm find more Lord of the Rings content. And if you like anything else on the page, make sure you stick around and give us a subscribe. So, thanks for watching, guys, and we're going to see you in the next video. Keep safe, Durin folk.